Hello everyone, it's Maha. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So I wanted to do something which I started doing a while ago in the summertime when I first started my channel, which was a series called Dreams, Reflections, and Tarot. And in these series, what I wanted to do is to bring my dreams and connect them to tarot and share some lessons that I learned from my dreams with you guys, because every night I have really vivid dreams. I remember my dreams every single morning, and they're always teaching me lessons or giving me insights for my problems throughout the day, and they're really helpful for me. I'm grateful for these dreams. And one of the ways I've learned tarot, besides reading, is through my dreams. Many times I've asked questions throughout the day that just the answers came up about tarot. The answers came up in my dreams, and it's really amazing because even way before I started really getting into tarot, I just had some simple questions about like the basics of tarot, and I remember getting the answers in my dreams. Like, for example, when I first started learning, I was learning only the major arcana, and I remember I was focusing on a card per week, and so it took me a little over a year even, because sometimes I worked on one card for 2 or 3 weeks if I found it a little more complex. And I remember one time in the beginning when I hadn't even worked with the minor arcana yet. I didn't even know anything about the minor arcana. I wanted to leave it for after. So one time I just asked myself one morning. I woke up and I asked myself, I wonder what the minor arcana means, because the major arcana are supposed to be the bigger lessons of life. So what are the minor arcana? I just pondered over that, and then that night I had a dream that the minor arcana are the events, the daily events, rather than the bigger lessons. And then I woke up and that next day I researched it. I went in my books and I looked at, what does the minor arcana, what do they mean? And it was pretty much exactly even in those words that it came up in my books, saying, yeah, the minor arcana represent everyday events, usually. So I thought that was amazing. But that's just one example. I've had many, many dreams about tarot, and sometimes it's not even directly linked to tarot, but something about tarot comes up the next day. So in this video, I wanted to share with you this dream that I had just quite recently, my dream about a swan. And I wanted to tell you the dream quickly, link it to how I found that it relates to tarot, and then read you something from this little red book here, The Tao of Pooh. I want to read you something here because it really relates to my dream and to really my dream's meaning and what it was telling me. So here on the left you have, I have put the book, the companion book for the Animal Wisdom Tarot. This is a really sweet deck, and I discovered this deck in the summertime. I was watching a video review of it by Monsoon Magic, who has a channel here on YouTube, which I love, and she's very inspiring to me. And she had done a review on this deck, and this is a deck that I overlooked many times when I was on Amazon shopping for decks. I kept seeing it over and over, but I wasn't really attracted by the visual representation of its cover, and even on the box itself, it kind of looks like, this is not the best illustration in the deck. I didn't really, because of this illustration, it just looked like a children's book. It looked too simple. I didn't even think of looking at the deck, and it's not as popular as most of the tarot decks out there. Although after having watched her video, I just fell in love with it, and I totally trust her opinions and her tastes. We have quite similar tastes, so I went for the deck. And I love this deck. I'm just going to show you a few of the cards, because I know I won't have time to review this deck anytime soon. But I love it. The cards are so colorful and just so sweet. Take your book away for a sec. So I'm just going to show you a few cards. This is, oh, my background is too busy. This is the Blue Jay card. 5 of feathers. I love the colors. They're very bold. Jellyfish, 5 of shells. I love this one. This is just a few of my favorite ones. Cat, number 2, High Priestess card. Knower of secrets. Cow, and I love this one. This is so perfect. It totally reminds me of that Taurus, Venus and Taurus energy of abundance. Green, the cow, she's just sitting there gazing on the grass with the nature around her. Earth Mother, number 3 card, the Empress, and then the owl is the keeper of the light for the Hermit. Crow, 9 of feathers. I love this image. And the feathers are the air. Shells are water. Spider, I love this one. I love spider cards in general. This is the Wheel of Fortune, Sacred Spinner. Isn't that great? So those are just a few sample cards. This is the back. The cards are really colorful. They're really good quality. The book is excellent. It gives you stories of the animals accompanied by the images, all in color. So if you guys haven't heard of this deck or seen it, check it out. It's a good deck to check out. So I'm just going to tell you my dream. So I had a dream about a swan, which I'm going to show you here. This is the Swan card in this deck. It's called Angel of Alchemy. It's the number 14 card. So in my dream, I just saw a swan, exactly like this image, flying, a huge swan flying. And the swan had a black beak, all black beak. And in my dream, I was looking at the swan and I was thinking, this swan has a black beak. Do swans actually have black beak? That's very interesting. Usually what happens in my dreams is I ask myself questions, and I have lucid dreams most of the time, so I'm aware that I'm dreaming. I ask myself questions. A lot of times I ask myself, what does this mean? What does that mean? I ask questions. So I ask myself, what is the black? Why is the beak black? And then I heard the beak is black because the swan is white, and so the swan having a black beak and white feathers, white body, represents the yin and yang. It represents harmony and balance, the black and white. So that was the part of my dreams, part of the beginning of my dream, and then it continues and goes on, and it's long. I won't describe the rest, but I woke up that morning and I was thinking, okay, first thing I did is I went right away and researched Google images, found the images of swans to see what does a swan look like. Does it have a black beak? Because I know it has a black, some part of its beak is black. So I looked it up, and here it is. It has black around its beak, but well, the beak itself is not black, but it's got that black eyes and around its beak, and with its beautiful, beautiful white feathers. So I just pondered over, okay, this is what a swan looks like, and thought about the meaning, balance, and harmony. And then that same afternoon, I was reading the book for the Animal Wisdom Tarot, and I love the book. So I just been recently reading it, and funny enough, I came right away to the page of the Swan, Angel of Alchemy, for number 14 card. And first of all, I thought that was really cool because number 14 card, what is it? Shoot, what is it called now? The number 14 card in tarot. I'm drawing a blank. This is a card that's sometimes it's called alchemy, sometimes it's called art. This card is my card in the zodiac wheel of tarot because I'm a Sagittarius, and this is the sign of, Temperance. Now I remember, Temperance card. Sorry, I drew a blank. So the Temperance card is my card, a card of Sagittarius. And listen to what it says now that I have told you my dream. So here we've got, I'm going to just read you what this deck says about this one. Okay, so I will just read you a short section here from the Swan card, so you can also kind of get an idea of what this beautiful book looks like. So Swan, Angel of Alchemy, card 14, traditional temperance, keynote, balance, integration, synthesis, harmony. So we know that the temperance card is all about harmony. I want to read you about the Swan here. This card urges us to take a creative chance. At home with water, land, and air, Swan brings together the far-ranging qualities of each: fluidity of emotions and intuition, practicality of stable grounding, and expansive clarity of a heightened vision. Open yourself to experimentation and the mystery of inner alchemy. Swan helps us to access hidden abilities and integrate divergent aspects of self with consciousness so we can come to a fuller knowledge of ourselves. Just wanted to add to that. While I'm reading this, I'm really thinking of Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, which this card is linked to. That kind of looking at something from a higher perspective, inner alchemy, knowledge, consciousness. So I'll just continue briefly here. Swan's call to wholeness may require time. Have patience. It's a process. Feel deep, heed what you already know, and seek moderation in daily living to balance change. Moving naturally from center, even when surrounded by chaos, we emanate harmony. Swan's strong spirit encourages us to live fully, authentically, and feel at peace. Message: with balance comes wisdom. Live from center. Isn't that beautiful? So I think this is great because it really integrates all the meanings of Sagittarius, of Jupiter, as well as the sign, as well as a card of Temperance, which is traditionally moderation, balance, harmony, integration. Again, I found when I saw this, when I read it, I remembered my dream. I usually forget my dreams in the afternoon, so by the time the afternoon comes, something comes along and it reminds me of my dream. So I thought about that, and I thought, how perfect was that? And how do these things happen when where does this all come from? From when we go to sleep, it's like we access this pool of knowledge. I guess Carl Jung calls it the collective consciousness. And I think dreams are a really great way to learn about tarot, because tarot is taught through images. And when we dream, it's all about images and metaphors and symbols. And tarot is just such a nice, to me, a nice metaphor for my dreams. So the message for this card was also perfect because, as I talked about in some of my other videos earlier this month, I've been going through a lot of drastic change and a lot of emotional difficulties or conflicts, inner conflicts come up. So it was great to get this message in my dream and also in the card. And then, again, as I said, I was going to read you guys something from the book, the little red book of the Tao of Pooh. And this I'm also reading recently. I discovered this book from Kelly from Truth and Story, from her channel. And this is just a really simple book, really simply written, kind of like childlike, like a children's book. And I'm not kidding you. I bookmarked this page, and then I read this today. And this is what I read today, basically. As soon as I started reading, I was just actually starting a little bit before that. And the message here, which I'm going to read, relates to Swan as well as what I needed to hear at this day. So this might help you as well. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys, because maybe somebody out there needs to hear this message. So I'm going to start with a little bit of background from this previous page, and then I'll go to the Swan page. So quite often, the easiest way, I'm going to read a little bit. No, okay. So quite often, the easiest way to get rid of a minus, and it's talking about minus meaning negative traits in the personality, to get rid of minus is to change it into a plus. Sometimes you'll find that the characteristics you try hard to eliminate eventually come back anyway. But if you do the right things, they will come back in the right ways. And sometimes those very tendencies that you dislike the most can show up in the right way at the right time to save your life somehow. If that's ever happened to you, you'll think twice before setting out to completely unbalance yourself. And unbalance here, it goes to describe what it means. Basically, it means trying to get rid of some of your traits, like a lot of times we try to do by self-improvement, quote unquote. Okay, so then the story of it just goes into 2 pages of dialogue to explain what unbalance means, and then it goes to the story. So here is the story of the duckling. In the story of the ugly duckling, when did the ugly duckling stop feeling ugly? When he realized that he was a swan. Each of us have something special, a swan of some sort, hidden inside somewhere. But until we recognize that it's there, what can we do but splash around treading water? The wise are who they are. They work with what they've got and do what they can do. There are things about ourselves that we need to get rid of. There are things we need to change. But at the same time, we do not need to be too desperate, too ruthless, too combative. Along the way to usefulness and happiness, many of those things will change themselves, and the others can be worked on as we go. The first thing we need to do is recognize and trust our own inner nature and not lose sight of it, for within the ugly duckling is the swan. Inside the bouncy tiger, or I should say bouncy Tigger, because it was going through dialogue explaining what unbouncing means, because Tigger was saying that he was too bouncy. Inside the bouncy Tigger is the rescuer who knows the way, and in each of us is something special, and that we need to keep. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like that. Take care. Have a good day.